Hey guys, it's Nina from One N Agency. I missed you guys yesterday. I didn't do my Facebook Live, and so I'm actually away on vacation. But hustle doesn't stop, so I just keep going even though I'm on vacation. I wanted to take some time out because I have been having some talks and some interaction with some people who are getting to starting their own salon, which is awesome. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you guys. And because this topic has been coming up so frequently, and it's a lot of, what I like to help with, when you're getting started, because it's always good to have, things in order and be proactive about, starting your business, whether you are working behind the chair now and then you're going to be opening up your own salon, or even if you're, contemplating being an independent artist, there's certain things that you want to look for when you are opening up your own salon. And this is a big deal. Hi guys, this is a really big deal for you. This is a business venture. You are getting to be a business owner, probably for the first time if you have been working behind the chair for somebody else. And I just want to help guide you along and give you some things to check off. I mean, I probably will end up doing a webinar on this just for new salon owners that are getting started and opening. I mean, we can spend hours talking about this, but I just wanted to give you just some tips to get you started and get you on kind of like a little bit of a checklist, and that way you can kind of start plowing through some of these things so you can really start to pay attention to how everything is going to start to come together when it gets closer to you finding a location and all of that stuff. So anyway, here is my first tip. So first and foremost, most of you, and not everybody, but most are actually coming from working behind the chair, and you're going to venture off and you're going to start your own salon, or you're going to become an independent artist. And so at that point, you probably already have a mentor, or at least I hope you do. And so my first tip for you is to find a mentor. If you don't have one, I will be that person for you. And I highly recommend that you sit with them, you talk with them, you pick their brain, and you really spend time with someone who's already been through the process of opening up their own salon, and you can learn what worked for them and what didn't work for them, and you can really, really get into, the heavy duty stuff that comes along with opening up a salon. Yes, it's exciting. It's so, it's very empowering to have that that feeling that you're now, you can now go on your own, but it is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I get it. I've been there. I owned my own salon for 11 years, and I remember all the way back to when I started, and I remember all of the work that went in, and I just want you guys to be prepared for that. And I'm sure that you already know, but there's things that they're gonna pop up, and it's always nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of, someone that's already been there, and someone that really truly understands, hi Jennifer, what you're going through when you're trying to get your salon open. So I highly recommend, if it's an existing mentor, if it is the current salon owner and you're leaving on great terms, that you can really talk to them. If you don't have someone, then that could be me. I would love to help you. And really make sure that you are going through all of these steps with a fine-tooth comb and spending a lot of time planning this process of opening up your own salon. And a mentor can really help guide you. So that's my first tip, and it's very, very important for you, even in the industry period, just to have a mentor. If you're a stylist behind the chair, if you're an educator, if you're a platform artist, whatever that is, have someone that you aspire to be. Number 2, business plan. Very important. You have to have a business plan, and it has to be a very solid business plan when you are getting started in the process of opening up your own business. And there's a lot of resources out there, and you can go on, I have my notes here, SBA.gov. It's government. They have a ton of resources for you to get your business plan together, and they have a lot of resources that are out there within your town, typically with a college or a university, where you can actually go and they will help you create this business plan, because it's very detailed and it is a lot of work. And when you're first getting started, we don't know exactly what we're looking for. We have all of this in our head, right? But we have to make sure that it's down on paper. And it's always nice to have someone that is doing this and that can really help you and guide you and point you in the right directions. Things to look for, you're going to talk about cash flow. You're going to have your, projections for your cash flow and your revenue. for the first couple years. And that way you can plan ahead for your working capital, and you make sure that you are funded properly. And there's also information for funding. If you're looking to get some funding or some finances to start your business, that's a really great website for you to go to. I was fortunate enough to have Lehigh University in my back door, and they had a bunch of college students that were, it's what they were going to school for. So they were able to help me and work with me. And I also had the Community Action in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which really helped me put my business plan together, and really worked with a guy named Chris, who was awesome and helped just get me through that. So you need the help. You need a business plan. It has to be solid. Take your time. It is tedious, but you're going to be so happy that you created this business plan, and then you want to reference it. Once you are open, you want to make sure that you're referencing and you're keeping track of what you are, what you had planned for. So number 2, have a business plan, and SBA.gov, check that out. There's a lot of resources there for you to, get a proper business plan. Number 3, hi Kathy. This is probably, we all have, you want to have a budget. So obviously you have a budget in mind and how much working capital you're going to need, and if you're going to fit out a space, is it a vanilla shell? Do you have to go in and put plumbing? And do you have to put all the electrical? Do you have to really get in there, because that's a different kind of budget, right? But if you are taking over an existing space, they may have the plumbing, they may have the electrical, everything may be there for you. You just want to rehab it a little bit and make it look, your style and your brand. So minor cosmetic changes, that's a different budget. So what I can tell you is don't go in on this lean. Don't go in with a specific number in mind and thinking that you're going to stick to that number, because that never happens. Always plan for an extra 10 to 20% of overages, because there's things that are going to happen. There's things that you're going to have to, things just happen. You may not have to, you think that you don't have to do plumbing, and then all of a sudden the plumbing isn't up to code, or you want to move the shampoo bowls around, or what have you. There's always things that pop up. Delivery charges with your furniture, all of that. There are things that happen. There's shipping charges. So I want to make sure that you guys account for all of this stuff, and don't go in lean. Make sure that you have enough capital and enough money, finances for you to dig into that within your budget. So always plan to spend 10 to 20% more, because there's always something that you're going to want, or something that you're going to need, or something that's going to have to be fixed. Once you get in, it's kind of like, oh, it looks great on the outside, but once you really get in there, you're going to start to notice that things may need to be tweaked a little bit. So always plan for extra. And again, set your budget, really try to stick to that budget. And you want to have a nice space, and you want to have it comfy, cozy for your team and your clients, but you don't have to do everything all at once. That's my other thing too. I want to get that point across, because, hey John, I want to get that point across to you guys, because you don't have to have everything in place all at one time. Don't go in and spend, $1 million on a space that's, 1,000 square feet, and think that you have to have everything perfect right off the bat. Start to work a little bit, get your stylist in there. If you have a book and you already have people that are coming, get some cash flow. Then you can start adding in pieces. You can start tweaking a little bit. You can add some different mirrors. You can add, whatever it is that you want to do. But don't feel that you need to have everything at once, because you really want to start to bring in some money. And you're not going to throw a profit right off the bat, so that money is going to be coming from your working capital. So you want to make sure, again, that you have that in the budget. You always want to be thinking of these things. It takes some time, which are going to be in the projections of your business plan, on when you're going to start throwing a profit. And that all depends on how much money you're putting in up front to start this business. So keep in mind that, I know you want it to look pretty. I remember I was there too, but it's better to keep it simple. Make sure that you have everything together first. And then when you have some cash flow coming through, then you can kind of get yourself situated. Cool? All right, so moving on. Location. And, the only thing that I can really say about location is, to really use your gut instinct when you are thinking in terms of picking a location. And, it's kind of like when you buy a home. When you go into a home and you walk in and you just get that feeling where this is your place. This is like where you're supposed to be. You have to really use that gut instinct when you are thinking of a location. Obviously, it's nice to have a high traffic area. Make sure that you pull, you can pull reports on the demographic to see how much traffic is coming through, and they can get it down to the minute, to the second, so you know how much traffic, how much foot traffic there is, how much, driving, how much car traffic there is. Get all of that information for you. Are you going to be in a shopping center? You can get all of the demographic information, and I highly recommend that you do that so you know what you are in for. And I'm not going to say that you cannot make a salon work that is in a residential area or is in a quiet area, because my initial salon was a 600 square foot salon in a residential area surrounded by houses. And so you can make it work. However, it's nice to be in a highly visible area. It's nice to have a lot of foot traffic. And it's nice to know that you're making a decision based on what's best for your business. Don't just think like, oh, this is a spot, I'm here, it's nice, it's gonna work, it's perfect, because that's not gonna work for you. You really have to feel that this is your place, and you really have to feel that it suits your brand and your target demographic and your target perfect client. We talk about that a lot. You hear me say that a lot. And so it has to be in the area that you want. Don't settle. Because I moved my salon once, and it was so much work to move your business. And it's great to move. We expanded, so we had to move, and that's a good thing. But you have to change your business cards and your letterhead, and you have to move everything, because you have to change your address. So be mindful and plan on being there for a while. Make sure that you feel really, really good about that space that you're going to be in, and that you can really envision yourself there for a while. So my next tip is think about your brand. When you are thinking in terms of your location, when you're working on your business plan, and when you're thinking in terms of the vision for your company and your salon, everything really is contingent on who you are. Who are you speaking to? And this all about brand. We've been through this if you guys have been following me. And who is your target market? Who is your perfect client? Who is your audience? Where do they live? What do they do? Who are their people? Where are they hanging out? And do that research first when you're thinking in terms of your brand. What makes you special? What is going to make your client going to want to come and see you as opposed to going down to the competition down the street? So that's all part of your brand, and you want to have that cohesive, in terms of hiring stylists, because you want your stylist to be representative of your brand. You want your color lines and your retail lines to be representative of your brand. All of these things, your furniture, the colors on the wall, the music that you're playing, that's the ambiance. Everything has to be representative of your brand. So I really want you guys to think about your brand, who you are and who you're attracting, and everything that represents your brand. What makes you special? Think about that, because you want to make sure that right off the bat that you're hiring stylists that represent you. Now, don't get me wrong. Over time, your brand is going to change. It's going to evolve, which is awesome. And you're probably going to end up rebranding, depending on how long you're in business. And hi, Candace. And I think it's very important to rebrand. But you want to really think about all of this stuff so you are really just together and very cohesive when you open your doors. That way, when you're training your stylist, you already are representing your brand right when you get them in for training. So got that. Moving on. This is my last tip. So I want you guys to start thinking about your compensation for your team. I know everybody gets excited and they want to hire, they want to hire team members right away, especially if you're in the early stages of planning on opening your business. Even if you have a location, you really want to take your time, and you want to make sure that you are thinking about how you want to pay your stylist. This will also be in your business plan. And take your time to think about this, because I'm always talking about numbers, and I'm not going to go into that now. That's kind of for another time. But you have to know how much it costs daily to run your business, open your doors, and that should be part of your business plan, and you have to compensate your team accordingly. It's different for everybody. It depends on the square footage of your salon. It depends on your demographic. It depends on your pricing. It depends on so many different things. So Don't just go with what the industry is saying. You know, if people are getting paid 45% commission or 50% commission, or they're team-based, or whatever that is, and whatever you're comfortable with, I would do a lot of research, because now you're the one that's going to actually be paying a team. It's different when you're on the other side and you're getting that paycheck. But when you're writing those checks, you know, you want to make sure that it is good for your business. It's something that is going to be attractive, obviously, for stylists coming in. It has to be a good compensation package. It has to be fair for your team, and it has to be fair for you. And so I want to make sure that you guys do your due diligence and you really do your homework, and don't just do what you're used to. If you are team-based, maybe look at commission. If you're commission, maybe look at team-based. You know, look at other options and do what you feel is best for you and what suits your brand, because how your people are paid really will reflect in the way that it's part of the brand and how they treat your clients. And so I want you guys to really think about that, because compensation is huge. You don't want to get into this and now you're thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I would have, you know, paid them less, or I wish I would have paid them more, or I wish I would have structured bonuses differently. So really write all of this out on paper. I really want you guys to think about all of this stuff. And it's such an exciting time, it really is, and I want you to celebrate that, but I also want you to understand that this is way different than working behind the chair will ever be for you. And I'm trying to really prepare you, and I want you to feel that you are on the right track. And so if you guys have questions, you know where to find me. Those are just a few of my tips. Like I said, I'm probably going to do a webinar about this, because I really want to help, you know, salons that are getting from the chair, stylists that are coming from the chair and opening their own salons. I want you guys to really feel good and feel secure and be proactive with going into opening up your own salon. So a couple things. I have my my free webinar, live Q&A for hairstylists on June 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I only have 15 spots left. So stylists, please sign up. And if salon owners, if you're on here, please, you know, independent artists, please tell your stylist to sign up. Write down your questions, anything that you want to ask about growing your book, how to build your book, retail, how to be more comfortable selling retail, how to handle some difficult clients, anything that really is going to help motivate you and inspire you behind the chair, I'm answering it live. My next thing is my Successful Salon Leader webinar series. I launched that about 2 weeks ago, and I thank you guys so much for being so supportive. And we're talking about branding. We're talking about leadership and coaching. We're talking about profitability and how to increase your profitability. It's 4 45-minute webinars. It's only $99, and I encourage you to sign up. And if you have a friend, you know, tell them about it too. I appreciate it. But you guys have been so supportive, and I thank you so much for tuning in. And if you need me, 1nagency.com. Check out all of my blogs and all of my information on there. Keep sending me your topics and your feedback. I love it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys. Have a good night. See you later.